Mary Brydon-Miller is Director of the University of Cincinnati's Action Research Center and Professor of Educational and Community-Based Action Research within the university's Education Studies program. In the summer of 2013, she gave a presentation at the Connected Communities 2013 Summit to talk about community engagement and action research from an international perspective. Since the term action research was first used, a little under 70 years ago, it's evolved, with different methodologies appearing the world over. Even at the 2013 summit, Professor Brydon-Miller was encouraged by the diverse range of methodologies being showcased, including use of the arts to engage with communities across the UK.
The idea of using the arts, whether it's theater or film, photography, visual arts, music, not just in the context of building communities, which it's always been used, but as a way of generating knowledge and communicating knowledge, is really pretty new and is still trying to gain traction and acceptance, I think, sort of in broader research circles. But, one of the things you saw at the summit was just the number of ways in which the arts are being used in really, really creative, engaging, interesting ways.
One key concern, however, is how researchers work directly with communities. Professor Brydon-Miller's recent work has focused on better understanding the importance of community-based research ethics, since even in her own city of Cincinnati, mistakes have been made in the past.
For many communities, and I certainly see this, working in community settings here in the city of Cincinnati, it's not just that we go in as someone that people in the community are unfamiliar with. We go in on the backs of years and years and years of researchers actively taking advantage of people in communities. That's particularly true in this country, in the African American community, where poor people, African Americans, other minorities, have been used as research subjects in research, whether it's health research or educational research, that has not addressed their needs, has oftentimes been certainly not contributed anything to people's well-being. And so you start out, 10 steps behind even just going in, as someone who is unknown to members of that community. So it takes a very, very long time to build trust. And it's very easy to undermine that trust when someone comes in and just, wants to collect a lot of data. It's what I call bungee research, when researchers just, expect to be able to sort of drop into a community, grab a bunch of data and pop back out again. And I think most communities are onto that, are demanding more participation, more control, more opportunity for there to be reciprocity in terms of the learning that takes place. It's one of the sort of steps forward that I think has been really important, is that communities are becoming savvier consumers of research and demanding more of us.
According to Professor Brydon-Miller, the formula for successful community-engaged research is when it can change things for the better. The idea that research can make a difference, not just for the academic, but for the people involved at the heart of that research.
One of the ways that we think about what it means to do good action research is based on this notion of catalytic validity. The research is valid when it is the catalyst for change. And whether that's catalyst for change in your own community setting, which we hope happens, is one part of it, but it's also about being a catalyst for development of new projects in other places. I can see that happening. I could hear that happening among the participants at the Connected Community Summit. And I certainly took away, Sarah Banks, for instance, who is, at Durham, is doing work very similar to some of the work that I'm doing in research ethics. She is going to be coming to the United States to the Community Campus Partnerships for Health Conference, together with colleagues from Canada. Then she's going to come down here to Cincinnati and talk, and then the two of us are going to go to Indiana University to the Poynter Center on Research Ethics and do a presentation there. So, that kind of cross-fertilization I'm already experiencing happening.
Back at the Connected Communities Summit, Professor Brydon-Miller was heartened to see people also sharing ideas and experience. She suggests that such networking is the trigger to greater opportunities for research collaboration, knowledge exchange, and community involvement.
Networking gets used in a, sort of a very simplistic way, I think. But I am firmly convinced that the future of community-engaged research depends upon us building a very strong network and building relationships and nurturing those relationships. whether it's relationships with our colleagues, with our community partners, with our students. And I just saw this very vibrant community of people doing this kind of work in just an incredible range of settings, coming together and really being excited about what one another were doing. It was very much about meeting people, supporting one another, marveling at what one another was doing, just the need to build that kind of very vibrant community. I was so impressed at the Connected Community Summit that, I just want you all to know that I think it's an extraordinary project. Anything I can do to support you all. And, one of the things that most impressed me was the engagement of people from the Arts and Humanities Research Council. Because, there must have been, half dozen AHRC folks there, and obviously really knowledgeable about what was going on, very enthusiastic. And at the same time, y'all made a point of saying, we don't want to call the shots. So that kind of recognizing sort of that you're in a support role, but a really, really strong, engaged support role. I just was really impressed. I don't know funding agencies here that do that. So I just, hats off to all of you.